One of the most dominant programs in college sports, Florida has climbed to the top of the college ultimate mountain, winning the national title back in 2006. But in this story, they might not be the Goliath they appear to be. Carleton College proved they're no ordinary David by capturing last year's crown. A small school from Minnesota with less than 2,000 students, they are a heavy crowd favorite here in Madison, Wisconsin, as they attempt to defend their title. The USA Ultimate College Open Championship begins now.
6 cities, over 12 different disciplines, 12 national titles handed out, and the 2010 Alt Games aren't even over yet. Hey, what's up? I'm Johnny Mosley. Welcome to San Diego, but don't get too comfortable here in the nice sea breeze, because I'm about to send you back up to Madison, Wisconsin, where the 24th USA Ultimate College Open Championship is about to take flight. It's been a long road for these two teams, battling through 12,000 competitors and 700 teams. But just as the 2010 Alt Games comes to a close, so does the journey for our ultimate athletes. Kevin Delaney and Kyle Weisbrod are in Madison right now.
Thanks a lot, Johnny. We are at the center of the known universe when it comes to disc sport. This, the 2010 Alt Games USA Ultimate College Championships. Men's division right now, and Madison, Wisconsin, a perfect host for us as Ultimate thrives in this community. Weather conditions absolutely phenomenal. Cool temperatures and light winds should make for accurate passing and catching. Two big-name teams in the finals, starting off with Florida. Kyle, they have some great elements.
Florida has a lot of big athletes, none more so than number 21, Brody Smith. Smith is the most feared player in the college game right now. Great throws, but can get downfield as well and make big plays. Also a phenomenal defender.
The crowd files in, anticipating an exciting finals matchup. Many of this crowd arriving from Carleton College in Minnesota. A short drive here to Madison, Wisconsin, and the Carleton team, a complete package.
Carleton's very deep, they're very fast. The roster is full of players that play on the U.S. junior national teams in 2006, 2008, and then this summer, 2010 in Germany.
Carleton College's road to the finals included the win over Minnesota 15-5 and over Pitt 15-8. Florida on a similar story, dispatching easily UNC Wilmington and Cornell with the 15-8 slaughter. Kyle, you've been a member of this championship game before in 2000. What are these teams feeling?
Well, it's a long road to get here for both these teams, and this is the pinnacle of their season, the pinnacle of some of these players' college careers. We
had a chance to catch up with two pivotal playmakers.
We've kind of seen, throughout this tournament, we haven't really seen the same team. Cal had kind of strong handlers, taller. Cornell, who we played in semis, was probably the tallest receiving team we played. And so Carleton, they've got, I don't know how tall they are, but they do definitely have speed. So it's gonna be interesting, especially a couple of the matchups on their team. The top players versus our top players. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
We know they like to huck it. We know that they're big. And so we really just have to focus on our game, which is a lot of unders, a lot of running, a lot of easy 100% decisions. We probably throw more passes than them and have fewer big plays, but I think it'll be kind of a David versus Goliath kind of matchup.
So with the flip of the disc, which Florida wins, they choose to go on defense and will pull to Carleton. So Carleton goes on offense, but before we get started, let's take a look at the jack-in-the-box rules of the game.
Games are played to 15. It is a win-by-2 game. And interestingly, Ultimate is played by the spirit of the game, meaning that it is self-officiated. Players are responsible for calling and resolving their own fouls. There are observers on the field there in case the players cannot work out differences.
The starting lineup for Florida looks like this. At the bottom of the bracket there, Brody Smith and Chris Gibson. Experienced veterans lead this team.
Also keep an eye on Sullivan. Florida will not be subbing very deeply in this game. Carleton, on the other hand, known for their depth. Watch out for number 3, Grant Lindsley, and number 12, Sam Canner. They're captains. They're their big playmakers out there.
Another big advantage for Carleton. Many of the players on their roster, part of the 2009 National Championship team, they bring experience and a relaxed demeanor to the high-pressure championship game. Brody Smith with a pull. These athletes can easily throw the disc 70 yards plus. The distance of this field, 25-yard end zones. And then Carleton takes over on offense.
Carleton working across the field here. Lindsley open. Oh!
Florida takes over with a turnover.
Coleman Hoover there with the block for Florida and gives Florida an opportunity for an early break here. Brody Smith directing traffic, telling folks where he wants them to be. Florida set up in a stack offense with Carleton forced backhand. Worm burner from Brody there, but it looks like it's coming back on the foul. Uncontested foul, spirit of the game there, where both players agreed that was a foul, and Smith with the disc. Stall count of 0. Smith out to Gibson. Gibson marked by Lindsley here. Lindsley with the foul. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Gibson typically takes the most difficult defensive matchup for Florida, and Lindsley is definitely that for Carleton.
Brody Smith, a patient handler, calls a foul. Already signs of frustration by Carleton. Smith not taking any chances. Even the slightest tap of the wrist, he's going to call it. It is Brody Smith gone. The give and go for the score. Florida goes on the board first.
Smith here just finds Sullivan and then cuts that little give and go break. Sullivan sees him wide open in the end zone. Easy give and go for the score, and Florida gets the break to go up 1-0 here.
Fantastic leading pass, puts it right on the chest of Brody Smith. Florida up 1-0.
Good call for Florida to go on defense first here, Kevin. Florida now has the break, and if they can hold that up for the rest of the half, they'll be actually getting another half break as they receive to start the second half. Smith with the pull to Carleton. This one hangs for a long time. Smith with huge throws both ways. But that one just out of bounds, which means Sam Canner, Carleton's captain, will pick it up and put it in at the brick mark, 20 yards up from the end zone.
So it's time to show some hustle. Carleton gets started. Nice forward pass, and Grant Lindsley takes over.
Lindsley out to space to Patrick Roberts. Patrick Roberts finds Sam Canner. Sam Canner with the disc, marks backhand. And Sam Canner across the field to a wide open Lindsley, who just strides onto that one for the goal and ties it up 1-1.
Fantastic play, great use of the field, moving to space after running the sideline on the left side of the field, wide open.
Great spacing from the Carleton offense, and great break from Sam Canner, just lays it out to the wide open space.
We are all tied up 1-1, Florida versus Carleton College. When we come back, more Championship Ultimate here at the Alt Games.
The Alt Games College Action Sports Championships is being brought to you by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. By GoTo11.com, the online interactive action sports community. Click to play. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to the 2010 USA Ultimate College Championships, and let's take a look at the alumni game.
I'd say that most of them were in grade school when I was playing, so it's good for me to still have an opportunity to play with such great young players.
And goal! I'm sure everybody's looking to go deep. Everybody wants an exciting game, so there'll be big throws and hopefully big catches.
The alumni of the Central Region Colleges versus the world. And the world, led by Mac Taylor, won the day.
Many of the top names from College Ultimate filled the rosters of both teams. Let's take a look at the champions of the past 5 years, brought to you by the United States Marine Corps.
Carleton College, of course, the 2009 defending champions. Florida, though, on there as well in 2006. Many of the seniors on this Florida roster were freshmen in 2006 when Florida won their last championship.
So Carleton College has to have the experience nod in this matchup. We are all tied up 1-1, Florida and Carleton College, as Carleton gets set to pull as the championship game continues.
Carleton's defense noticeably physical in the first point they were on D. I'm interested to see what they come out with this point.
The pull goes long out the back of the end zone. They will reset this at the brick mark, 20 yards into the field of play inside the end zone. To learn more about the sport of Ultimate and find a league in your area, visit usaultimate.org.
Cole Sullivan from Florida running the disc up to that brick mark right now. Carleton hustling to get back on D. This gets checked back in. Cole swings out wide to Smith. And Luke Powers comes in and gives Smith a bump right there, slows the play down.
But Smith, of course, calls it quits. Looks like he is ready to shut down this game as fast as possible. He just sort of takes almost like what looks like a flop.
Certainly does. I mean, what Powers did was probably a foul there, but Smith didn't need to call that one. He could have played through that foul pretty easily and kept his game moving.
So resuming play, Brody Smith with the disc. Downfield, Florida looks to take control of the offense here. Score all tied 1-1.
This back to Sullivan. Sullivan in the middle of the field. Out to Gibson. There's some more contact. That's Christian Foster on the mark, guarding Chris Gibson.
Now that foul, Gibson did look like he was in a throwing position, got his wrist hit, so that is the time to call a foul.
And Foster didn't contest, and now we're back in play. And Gibson finds an open receiver. That's number 5, Miguel Palavicini, for the goal. Palavicini, one of the unsung heroes here in Florida, actually plays every point for Florida, but no one talks much about him. Everyone kind of focuses on Gibson, Sullivan, and of course Brody Smith.
Well, Palavicini's time has come. Tough athletes on the field here. Chris Gibson tells us just how tough.
Ultimate is one of the top 2 toughest sports I've played. I've played pretty much like all the sports, and the dedication and the training and the commitment is right up there with swimming, I would say. It just takes up your life, and you really have to love the people that you're with, and you have to love the sport to actually be able to continue to do it. Otherwise, it's pretty tough.
So the championship game continues. Florida in the lead 2-1. Carleton decides to let that one drop.
Number 2, Justin Norton with the disc, dishing it out wide. Justin Norton, actually a freshman for Carleton. It's a pretty big deal that as a freshman he's playing such a big role in Carleton's offense.
They're trying to get out of their end zone area, and looks like Smith calls a travel. So Smith is a quick on the trigger for calling the fouls today.
You know, interesting, one of the things that's different about these two teams is that Florida subs much tighter, and so it is to Florida's advantage to stop play as often as possible, maybe catch a breather. They've got 4 guys on Florida that play literally every single point, whereas on Carleton's side, they're actually subbing out a full 7 for their offensive and defensive points, so they're going 14 deep in the game. Lindsley with the disc here.
So fatigue could play a big factor later in the game. Carleton with a lot more players and unable to make the grab. A turnover for Carleton.
Lindsley airs that one out to Patrick Roberts, a junior out of Amherst, Massachusetts. Roberts misreads it a little bit, and Florida will get the disc back. Smith, of course, jogging back to pick up the disc to quarterback his offense.
So back to the goal line, Brody Smith looking for an outlet pass. Smith just trying to see some daylight between the smothering Carleton D right now.
Florida runs a very static offense. They stand around looking for those openings, looking for those options. They're not afraid to let the stall count get high before moving it out wide, and they love to have the disc in Brody Smith's hands. Smith making the cut, trying to get the disc again. And there he's looking long.
With the lead, nice throw into the scoring zone and a diving catch. That is going to be Coleman Hoover, a junior. Food and resource economics out of Winter Park, Florida. So that guy delivers a full buffet.
He really eats that one up. Coleman Hoover pulls it down. It's a nice backhand from Brody Smith in the corner. The observer rules it is inbounds. The first point of contact is what counts, and Coleman Hoover's first point of contact is inbounds before he lands on the line and out of bounds, so it's a goal.
The crowd continues to file in here at the USA Ultimate College Championships. 5,000 strong in attendance. Right now it is Florida 3, defending champions Carleton 1.
So Kevin, there really is no love lost between these two teams. They play both a chippy style of play. Obviously Carleton playing pretty physically, Florida calling everything, and they've had a history of this kind of battle. Actually, Florida made a video last year of Carleton taking flops in games.
Well, Florida with a bad rap for taking flops, for defending themselves there, pointing out other teams do it as well, but here in the championship finals for 2010, I'll tell you what, taking flops and making a lot of calls is not going to win the title for your team. Accurate and aggressive play is the recipe for success as Florida goes deep, and out in front is Brody Smith with the height advantage, but the throw just goes long, and Brody Smith contesting a little positioning foul.
Greg Conley rules no foul. Luke Powers did a really good job there of getting position on the much taller Brody Smith, forcing Brody to take a line he didn't want to take. The disc goes over both their heads.
So bringing it back to the goal line. Brody Smith taps it in, and a huge pull, just shotgunning it right off the start, end zone to end zone.
Grant Lindsey breaks free for the huge space, and Luke Powers finds him deep with the long backhand to tighten the lead to 3-2.
That is great downfield vision by Luke Powers.
I don't know how Florida let Lindsley get that open.
Recipe for disaster for Florida, but they lead Carleton right now, 3-2. We'll be back. Welcome back to Madison, Wisconsin. It's hammer time.
Hi, I'm Mary Kate Hogan, and I play for the Hellions of Troy from the University of Southern California, and I'm here today to show you how to throw a hammer, a little bit of a specialty throw. So basically, if you know how to throw a forehand, you're going to hold it the same way that you do that, which means that you put two fingers, your pointer finger and your middle finger, on the middle inside of the disc, and then you have your other two fingers on the outside with your thumb on top. Instead of throwing it the normal way that you throw a forehand, instead you're going to hold it over your head on the opposite side of your body and upside down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use your whole body into it, and you're just going to release the disc. A lot of teams don't use the hammer is because it's really hard to throw in wind, because if the wind just takes it, it's hard to know where it's going to go. So it's not only necessary to know how to throw a hammer, but when it's actually hammer time.
Perfect execution. You didn't see that she was wearing parachute pants, and she is known as Uzi, too legit to quit. But we are back into the action where Carleton has grabbed a point since we were away, all tied up 4-4. And it is Cole Sullivan handling the disc. Returns to him. Good poise there, slowing the game down when he needs to, trying to find those open players. Brody Smith controlling right now. Knocking on the door for a score.
Gibson looks like he catches it in, but the observer calls him on the line, so Gibson takes it back. Christian Foster arguing exact positioning with him. These teams are getting a little ticky-tacky here earlier in this game.
So that is going to lead to some big frustration as this game develops. These players need to concentrate on the game and not on the fouls. Gibson with the forehand flick.
Fernando Lugo with the score, number 34. And Florida regains the lead, 5-4. Gibson with a smooth little forehand here. Fernando Lugo gets his defender not paying attention, sleeping, and just able to pull it down in that back corner of the end zone.
Pretty great play by Florida so far. They are being smooth with their passes. They lead Carleton Cut 5-4.
C-U-T! Let's go,
So the team rallies their troops on the field. Carleton Cut now receiving from Florida as they trail by 1 point here in the first half.
I'm really impressed by the play of Chris Gibson. Gibson going out there playing every offensive point and then coming back on to guard Carleton's Grant Lindsley, who's non-stop cutting out there. There's Lindsley with the disc.
Lindsey just crisp passing, and he is able to accelerate across the field. Back pass for safety. Check the vision downfield.
Uncontested strip there. And Sullivan gets his hand on the disc. Adrian Chow with the disc here as Sullivan checks it back in. Justin Norton out wide to Kinsey. Kinsey spreads the field to Carleton.
And Carleton wide open, uncontested, but he cannot find an outlet pass downfield. Goes back pass, and play stops.
So pick call downfield there. Carleton's that wide open because sometimes Smith jogs behind, conserving energy there. He lets his guy get it. There's Lindsley with the disc. Looks wide. Kinsey. Ooh, and Brody Smith comes in hard on Carleton as Carleton's catching the disc and takes out his knee. Looks like Carleton's in a lot of pain there.
So Brody Smith with a diving bid takes the knees out, sort of a chop block. And Carleton writhing in pain, carried off the field by his teammates.
Smith found himself out of position there, and Carleton just came underneath. And Smith thought he had a shot at that disc, came underneath, and they just impacted right at that point, and his knee buckled underneath him.
The pain obvious there. We wish him all the best. Hope to see him again return to the action. Right now, Carleton looking to find a way into the end zone to tie it all up at 5.
Kinsey and Norton controlling the disc here. Back to Chow.
Norton to Chow. Oh, that was so close. Looks like a full steam collision on its way. Brody Smith with a bobble pass. Carleton making a bid for the end zone.
Sullivan with the huge block there. Batting it away just a little bit from Alex Evangelides, who can't come up with it. What was really impressive there was number 13, Alton Gaines, containing that throw, making him have to throw inside and giving Sullivan that opportunity to get that block.
Just a little bit too soft of a throw into the end zone as Brody Smith lofts one up and another diving bid at the other end of the field. Incredible defensive action right now. Number 21, Adrian Chow.
Adrian Chow reads this one perfectly, goes up, gets big, and gets the block, and now Justin Norton is checking the disc back in.
So coast to coast in the span of just a few seconds, Carleton back against their end zone and making a mistake in the end zone.
Justin Norton, low throw from Chow there, can't quite come up with it. And now Florida's going to be able to take this one right on their goal line. Turnover was in the end zone. Brody Smith is backing up to the goal line. Sees Cole Sullivan, and Sullivan with the goal and the elbow spike. Florida with the break, they're fired up.
Cole Sullivan, a big playmaker on the other end to start the offense for Florida, and he delivers in the end zone.
That turnover from Justin Norton, just too close to Carleton's own goal, makes it too easy for Florida to score that point.
Well, Florida extends their lead now 6-4 over Carleton, the defending champs, finding themselves in a hole. Will Carleton be able to answer? Highlights from early action include fantastic throws, great grabs, and awesome D. Now it's time for the ultimate trivia question presented by GMC Sierra. What school has won the most Open Division championships? Kyle, do you know?
I sure do. Do you know, Kevin?
I sure don't. The sounds of iRation take us through a look at this year's Alt Games. From Reno to San Diego, Madison, Wisconsin, Santa Barbara and Copper Mountain, Colorado, winter and summer, boards and boats. We We've seen about everything here at the Alt Games and plenty more in store for you. Log on to thealtgames.com